Good evening, this is Dante Steele. These are your top stories tonight. House Republican leader Steve Scalise has dropped out of the race for House Speaker. Scalise announced his decision after a closed-door meeting with fellow House Republicans this evening. In a press conference, Scalise called for the Republican Party to come together for the country rather than focus on individual political agendas. Scalise had received the nomination for Speaker in a conference vote earlier this week over Representative Jim Jordan, but many GOP members said they would not support him on the floor. Following Scalise's announcement, some Republicans expressed support for Jim Jordan to become Speaker instead. The Speaker race was prompted after Representative Kevin McCarthy was removed from the position last week in a House vote. Fearmonger alert. We do not fearmonger on this channel, and the inclusion of this story is for educational context. A former Hamas leader has designated Friday, October 13th as a day of Jihad and called on Muslims worldwide to take to the streets in support of Palestinians. Representative Matt Gaetz responded that Americans will be armed and will not be intimidated. NYPD has been ordered to be ready in uniform for potential protests. The conflict in Israel is slowly turning into a religious crisis. The Deputy Treasury Secretary of the United States has stated that the U.S. has a quiet agreement with Qatar not to allow Iran access to $6 billion in unfrozen funds for an indefinite period. This comes as part of a September prisoner swap deal between the U.S. and Iran, where $6 billion in frozen Iranian funds were allowed to be transferred. Republicans and some Democrats have pushed for Biden to refreeze the assets given Iran's support for Hamas amid recent attacks on Israel. Legislation has been introduced to formally refreeze the account and prohibit further sanctions relief for Iran. These are your top stories tonight. Have a great rest of your night, and tune in tomorrow for more stories you don't want to miss. This is Volt News Network.